Welcome back, everybody. This is Tony, and you're watching Yesteryear today. These are the movies that we love of 1946. These are the best movies, worst movies, your favorites, some of the duds, some of the Oscars. But these are the films that we love of 1946. Let's go ahead and check them out. First up we have is A Night in Casablanca, comedy and family. The Marx brothers are employed at a hotel in post-war Casablanca where a ring of Nazis is trying to recover a cache of stolen treasure. This film is a classic. Next up we have is A Stolen Life with Betty Davis. Drama. When a woman's twin sister is drowned, she assumes her identity in order to be close to the man she feels her sister took from her years before. A Stolen Life. A Boy, a Girl, and a Dog. During World War II, a young boy and girl living with their respective families in an apartment house that had restrictions against pets adopts a lost dog. This is a touching, feel-good movie. Abby's Irish Rose, comedy, drama, and romance. Cultures clash when a Jewish boy wants to marry an Irish girl. I love this movie, Abby's Irish Rose. Check it out. Next up we have is the classic Abilene Town Western. A sheriff tries to stop homesteader conflicts in the West after the Civil War. Abilene Town. This is a great movie. If you like Westerns, check it out. Next up we have is a touchy, good movie, adventure, comedy, and fantasy, Angel on My Shoulder. The devil arranges for a deceased gangster to return to Earth as a well-respected judge to make up for his previous life. Angel on My Shoulder. I love that film. Anna and the King of Siam. In 1862, a young Englishwoman becomes royal tutor in Siam and befriends the king. Rex Harrison and Linda Darnell. Classic movie. Next up we have is Bad Man's Territory, Western. Sheriff Mark Rowley and his brother John find themselves in an annexed area of Indian Territory, which is home to the notorious outlaw Jesse James. Next up we have is The Big Sleep with Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart. Private Detective Philip Marlowe is hired by a wealthy family. Before the complex case is over, he's seen murder, blackmail, and what might be love. Next up we have is The Black Angel. When Kurt Bennett is convicted of a singer's murder, his wife tries to prove him innocent, aided by the victim's ex-husband. Black Angel. Next up we have is a comedy, musical romance, Blue Skies. An ex-dancer and New York radio star narrates his love story for a band singer who loved a self-centered man who was unable to commit to his nightclub business or his family. The Blue Dahlia. An ex-bomber pilot is suspected of murdering his unfaithful wife. Crime, film noir, and mystery. The Blue Dahlia. Awesome film. Next up we have is the classic Bowery Bombshell, featuring the Bowery Boys, East Side Kids. East Side Kids unsuccessfully try to sell a dilapidated car to a street cleaner for a fabulous amount so they can get enough money to save Louis' malt shop. Awesome movie. Next up we have is The Brute Man. A facially deformed and mentally unhinged man wreaks his revenge with a series of brutal murders on those who deformed him. The Brute Man. Next up we have is Calcutta. Action, crime, and drama. Neely and Pedro fly cargo between Chungking and Calcutta. When their buddy Bill is murdered, they investigate. Calcutta. Action, crime, and drama. Canyon Passage. Drama and western. Businessman Logan Stewart is torn between his love of two very different women in 1850s Oregon and his loyalty to a compulsive gambler friend who goes over the line. Canyon Passage. Children of Paradise. Drama and romance. The theatrical life of a beautiful courtesan in 1830s Paris and the four men who love her. Children of Paradise. Next up we have is Cloak and Dagger. In World War II, the Allies race against time to persuade two nuclear scientists working for the Germans to switch sides. Awesome movie. Next up we have is Clooney Brown. Comedy, romance, and war. A free-spirited parlor maid and a Czech refugee surprise an English village with their unconventional ways. Clooney Brown. Cracked Up, crime, drama, and film noir. Art curator George experiences a train wreck, which never happened. Is he cracking up or the victim of a plot? Crack Up. The Dark Corner, crime, drama, and film noir. A secretary tries to help her boss who's been framed for murder. The Dark Corner, crime, drama, and film noir. Next up we have is Deadline at Dawn. When a woman he meets is murdered, a soon-to-ship-out sailor has until dawn to find the killer, aided by a weary dance hall girl. Crime and mystery. Deception. After marrying her long-lost love, a musician finds the relationship threatened by a wealthy composer who is besotted with her. Crime, drama, and film noir. Deception. Duel in the Sun, drama, romance, and western. Beautiful, biracial Pearl Chavez becomes the ward of her dead father's first love and finds herself torn between two brothers, one good and the other evil. Easy to Wed, comedy and romance. To prevent a libel case against the paper, a reporter tries to compromise the reputation of a tycoon's slandered daughter. Easy to Wed. Gilda, drama and romance. A small-time gambler hired to work in Buenos Aires casino discovers his employer's new wife and his former lover. Gilda, drama and romance. The classic film Great Expectations, adventure, drama, and mystery. A humble orphan boy in 1810, Kent is given the opportunity to go to London and become a gentleman with the help of an unknown benefactor. Great Expectations. Green for Danger. After a nurse who declares that a recent surgical death was a murder also dies, an enigmatic Scotland Yard inspector arrives to investigate. Green for Danger. The Harvey Girls. Comedy, drama, and mystery. On a train trip west to become a mail-order bride, Susan Bradley, Julie Garland, meets a cheery crew of young women traveling out to open a Harvey house. The Harvey Girls. Heartbeat, comedy, drama, and romance. In Paris, a young woman runs away from a reform school, joins a pickpocket academy, and finds herself falling for the handsome diplomat she's been blackmailed into stealing from. Heartbeat. It's a Wonderful Life. An angel is sent from heaven to help a desperately frustrated businessman by showing him what life would have been like if he had never existed. Ultimate classic for Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life. Janie Gets Married, comedy and romance. Married life isn't as blissful as either Dick or Janie had hoped. Dick is hired to write filler for his father-in-law's newspaper, but is never allowed to prove his real worth. Janie Gets Married. Lady in the Lake, crime and mystery. The lady editor of a crime magazine hires Philip Marlowe to find the wife of her boss. The private detective soon finds himself involved in murder. Little Giant, we love Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. Lou Costello plays a country bumpkin vacuum cleaner salesman, working for the company run by the crooked Bud Abbott. To try and keep him under his thumb, Abbott convinces Costello that they need to team up. Little Giant. Love Laughs at Andy Hardy, featuring Mickey Rooney. Andy Hardy goes to college after returning from World War II. He is in love with Kay Wilson this time. Next up we have is Make Mine Music. Animation, adventure, and comedy. Animation done to contemporary popular music. If you love cartoons and animation, this film is awesome. Monsieur Boukhari, a bumbling barber in the court of King Louis IX, becomes engaged in political intrigue when he masquerades as a dashing nobleman engaged to the Prince of Spain, featuring Bob Hope. Mr. Hex. Satch is given a post-hypnotic suggestion that turns him into a championship prize fighter. Again, the Bowery Boys. Mr. Hex. My Darling Clementine. After their cattle are stolen and their brother murdered, the Earp brothers have a score to settle with the Clanton family. My Darling Clementine. Drama and Western. My Reputation. A recent widow meets an army major while skiing and despite pressures from friends and family, becomes romantically involved with him. Drama and romance. My Reputation. Never Say Goodbye. Both living in New York City, successful artist Philip, most renowned for his series of Gailey girls, swimsuit models in evocative poses, and Ellen Gailey, a one-time girl, team up. Night and Day. Love this film. Biography, drama, and musical. A fictionalized biopic of composer Cole Porter from his days at Yale in the 1910s through the height of his success to the 1940s. Nobody Lives Forever. Ex-GI Nick Blake gets involved in a scheme to fleece a rich, young widow, but finds himself falling for her, much to the displeasure of his racketeer cohorts. Notorious. Drama, romance featuring Cary Grant. The daughter of a convicted Nazi spy is asked by the American agents to gather information on a ring of Nazi scientists in South America. You love Cary Grant? Ingrid Bergman? Awesome. The Yearling. A boy persuades his parents to allow him to adopt a young deer. But what will happen if the deer misbehaves? The Yearling. This movie is a classic, a gem, drama, family, and western. The Inner Circle. A private detective finds himself with a perfect new secretary, but after a notorious gossip columnist turns up murder, she may prove too good to be true. The Inner Circle. The Postman Always Rings Twice. A married woman and a drifter fall in love, then plot to murder her husband. I love this movie. The Postman Always Rings Twice. Next up we have is the comedy Road to Utopia. Two vaudeville flops pose as bad guys and join the Klondike Gold Rush with a saloon singer. Road to Utopia. Bing Crosby and Bob Hope. Saratoga Trunk. An opportunistic Texas gambler and the exiled Creole daughter of an aristocratic family join forces to achieve justice from the society that has ostracized them. Saratoga Trunk. Shoeshine. Two shoeshine boys in post-war Rome, Italy, save up to buy a horse, but their involvement as dupes in a burglary lands them in juvenile prison. Shoeshine, or Shusha. The She-Wolf of London. A young heiress finds evidence suggesting that at night she acts under the influence of a family curse and has begun committing ghastly murders in a nearby park. She-Wolf of London. Shock. Thriller. A psychologically distraught woman is committed to a private sanitarium by the man she witnessed commit a murder. Shock. Next up we have is Smokey, drama, family, and musical. Drama about the strong bond between a cowpoke and a wild bronco set during the 1940s. Smokey. Next up we have is Song of the South, animation, comedy, and family. The kindly storyteller Uncle Remus tells a young boy stories about trickster Brer Rabbit who outwits Brer Fox and slow-witted Brer Bear. The Spiral Staircase. In 1916, a shadowy serial killer is targeting women with affliction. One night during a thunderstorm, someone died. The Spiral Staircase. Spookbusters, newly graduated from Exterminator College, Slip and the boys open a pest control business. Their first job leads to a doctor who wants to transplant Satch's brain. Awesome comedy of 1946. Stairway to Heaven. A British wartime aviator who cheats death must argue for his life before a celestial court, hoping to prolong his fledgling romance with an American girl. Stairway to Heaven. The Strange Love of Martha Ivers. A man is reunited with his childhood friend and her husband, who believe he knows the truth about the death of her rich aunt years earlier. The Strange Love of Martha Ivers. Susie steps out after her father, Papa Russell, loses his job because of illness, adolescent Susie poses as an older woman than she really is. Tarzan and the Leopard Woman. Action, adventure, and romance. As a spate of leopard attacks cause panic, a skeptical Tarzan joins a hunting expedition. Tarzan and the Leopard Woman. Next up we have is Temptation. Drama, film noir, and thriller. Ruby, a beautiful divorcee with a shadowy past, marries a rich Egyptologist, and while he continues excavating a pharaoh's tomb, she becomes bored until she falls for a debt-ridden blackmailer. Terror by Night. When the fabled star of Rhodesia diamond is stolen on a London to Edinburgh train, and the son of its owner is murdered, Sherlock Holmes investigates. The Green Years. An orphan young boy is guided by his great-grandfather and strives to go to university to become a doctor. However, the boy's harsh grandfather stands in the way. The Green Years. The Show-Off. Lowly clerk Aubrey has a fondness for exaggerating about himself to impress people. His fantastic tales of visiting China and working as a manager at his place of employment gets him in trouble. The Show-Off. The Bandit of Sherwood Forest. The Adventure of Robert Nottingham, the son of Robin Hood. Action, adventure, and family. Next up we have is The Beast with Five Fingers. Not fingers, fingers. In a turn-of-the-century Renaissance Italian mansion, its tyrannical owner, a one-handed wheelchair-bound pianist with a strong belief in the occult, is murdered. The Best Years of Our Lives. 3 World War II veterans, 2 of them traumatized or disabled, return home to the American Midwest to discover that they and their families have been irreparably changed. The Chase. Chuck Scott gets a job as a chauffeur to tough guy Eddie, but Chuck's involvement with Eddie's fearful wife becomes a nightmare. The Chase. Next up we have is a action, adventure, and crime, The Crimson Ghost. A criminal mastermind known as the Crimson Ghost is out to steal a device called the cyclotrode, which can short-circuit every electrical current on the planet. The Dark Mirror. A man is found murdered and witnesses are sure about the woman they saw leaving his apartment. However, it becomes apparent that the woman has a twin. Who did it? Next up we have is the classic The Fighting Guardsmen. A band of Frenchmen start an uprising against the aristocracy in the days before the French Revolution. The Fighting Guardsmen. Next up we have is the classic The Jolson Story, biography, drama, and musical. This movie shows the idealized career of the singer Al Jolson. Biography is a joy to watch, great movie all around, and great acting. Check it out. Next up we have is The Kid from Brooklyn. After a timid milkman knocks unconscious a boxing champion who was accosting his sister, he decides to take up boxing himself in order to impress a beautiful nightclub singer. The Kid from Brooklyn. The Killers. Hitmen kill an unresisting victim, and investigator Reardon uncovers his past involvement with beautifully dead Kitty Collins. The Killers. Next up we have is the classic The Man I Love, drama and musical. A homesick, no-nonsense lounge singer decides to leave New York City to spend some time visiting her 2 sisters and brother on the West Coast. The Man I Love. The Razor's Edge, drama and romance. An adventuresome young man goes off to find himself and loses his socialite fiancée in the process. But when he returns 10 years later, she'll stop at nothing to get him back. The Strange Woman. In 1820s New England, beautiful but poor and manipulative Jenny marries rich old man Isaiah, but also seduces his son and his company foreman. So she's kind of a slut. The Strange Woman. The Stranger. An investigator from the War Crimes Commission travels to Connecticut to find an infamous Nazi. The Stranger. Next up we have is the classic The Verdict. After an innocent man is executed in a case for which he was not responsible, a Scotland Yard superintendent finds himself investigating the murder of his key witness. The verdict. The cat creeps. A black cat is suspected of being possessed by the spirit of an elderly murdered woman. The cat creeps. This movie is chilling and thriller. It's good. Next up we have is The Three Strangers. Three strangers, each with a serious problem in their lives, share a sweepstake ticket which they wished upon together before a Chinese idol. Till the Clouds Roll By. Biography of songwriter and Broadway pioneer Jerome Kern. Biography and musical. Till the Clouds Roll By. This is an awesome movie. Next up we have is Till the End of Time. Drama about former World War II Marines readjusting to civilian life and dealing with their mental and physical trauma. Till the End of Time. Next up we have is Madame Lou Costello again, The Time of Their Lives. A psychiatrist stays in a mansion haunted by prankish ghosts from the Revolutionary War. The Time of Their Lives is a must-watch for any Abbott Costello fan. To Each His Own. An unwed mother forced to give up her child to avoid scandal follows her son's life from afar even as she prospers in business. To Each His Own. Tomorrow is Forever. An American World War I soldier whose disfigured face is reconstructed by Austrian plastic surgeons returns home later, 20 years later, but nobody recognizes him. Tomorrow is Forever. Two Smart People. A fugitive negotiates a 5-year sentence for the theft of $500,000 worth of bonds, but takes a short trip before surrendering. Crime, drama, and romance. Undercurrent. Middle-aged bride Anne Hamilton soon begins to suspect that her charming husband is really a psychotic who plans to murder her. The Undercurrent. Drama and thriller. Whistle Stop. When beautifully Mary returns home to her Whistle Stop hometown, long-standing feelings of animosity between two of her old boyfriends leads to robbery and murder. Whistle Stop. Without Reservations. En route to Hollywood, an author becomes smitten with a Marine, though he is unaware of her celebrity status and is critical of her best-selling novel. Without Reservations. The classic movie Dressed to Kill. Crime and mystery. Sherlock Holmes sets out to discover why a trio of murderous villains, including a dangerously attractive female, are desperate to obtain 3 unassuming and inexpensive little music boxes. Those were the movies that we loved of 1946. There were classics, there were thrillers, there were blockbusters, there were Oscar winners in that list. Do you remember any of the movies from 1946? What were your favorite movies of 1946? If I left any of your movies out, let me know below. I'm Tony, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.